Going to the last week of the PGS group stage, kalaban namin yung TME, and based sa performance namin recently, maganda naman yung results kahit natalo kami sa Mineski. Napakita namin kung anong kaya namin. Just nagkamali lang kami sa mga crucial decisions, pero kaya naman linisin yun. So most likely ang gagawin namin is to improve our decision making, and hopefully pag manalo kami sa TMEs at makapasok kami sa playoff. So last season ako yung 6th man ng TME, so nakikita ko yung mga galaw nila, and hopefully magamit ko yung mga natutunan ko from last split to our advantage. Thank you sa lahat po na sumusuporta sa Naga Esports, at pagpatuloy namin ang mag-improve para maganda yung mga laban, at we'll make you guys proud.
Looks like the intel info that Rebecca got from TME did work out in our first game. So guys, welcome back to the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spank Split. My name is Vulcan. With me is Chisto, your shotcancers entering Game 2.
Yeah, and during that first game, I think lumabas nga na yung inside info na meron si Rebenko, yung mga tiny strats na ginagawa ng TME na natutunan niya during his time as their 6th man, nagamit talaga ng Naga because it looks like he had the read on what Cops wanted to do. Rebenga on this Zac, always super efficient. Parang kung saan niya gusto mag-setup, wala si Cops. And kung saan gusto mag-setup ni Cops ng gang, nandun si Rebenga to respond. And I think that's really one of the key factors kung bakit nanalo ng early game yung Naga Esports, and given that it was their win condition to win early and then push down, talagang inabuso nila yung fact na yun. And I think that's the main reason on why they won Game 1.
And at this point in our last week of the group stages, it's very important for Naga Esports to get 1 point. And if they get one more point, that will be a 2-0, and that's going to be 2 extra points, which would potentially make a tiebreaker for against IPT in the standings. If you check it right now, it would be actually no, if they do get 1 more point, they were from, let's say, 7 points, right? They get 1 more, that's gonna be 10 points, which would be great when you're entering the last week of the group stages.
Yeah, and actually, since Naga already picked up 1 point here after that Game 1 victory, they're in a much more comfortable spot, because if they didn't pick up a point here, that means their playoff spot would still have been in jeopardy, just like BNR discussed in the first game. Now they're sitting on 8 points, already above RCX Rage Esports. So Naga definitely very happy with that. Meron silang momentum ngayon, Vulcan. Ngayon, kaya ba nilang gawing 2-0 to over the struggling defending champions of the Pro Gaming Series?
And when you're expecting that much preparation and that much, I would say, think of strategy, knowing the intel info, Naga has that thanks to Rebenga's experience with TME. But for TME, they are struggling defending champions. Yes, we did see in the previous week where we did see the substitution coming from the mid lane, but now Trevor is coming back here, and for TME's in the mid lane, so maybe there is that lack of, I would say, practice. Trevor did mention that in the interview, post-match interview in the previous weeks.
Yeah, I mean, TME throughout the PGS, they've looked very, very shaky. Sometimes they look very solid while playing, but other times it looks like they just have these games where they sort of shut down and they aren't able to set up, and they sort of bank on just hitting that late game spike where they could just out team fight the opponent. But versus a team like Naga, which once they get ahead in the early game, they really punish you mid game. And looking at that, especially around the Baron area, the moment they chunked out the Azir, the moment na nakita nila na 4v5 situation, Naga immediately pounced. So I think moving on to Game 2, hindi pwedeng hayaan ng TME na manalo ng early game ng Naga Esports, because ganun nagtatransition yung wins ng Naga. They win early and they make that into more leads, and that's really how they close out games.
And that's how the Game 1 was, I would say, smooth for NE for picking up that first victory. But will this be a continuation for their momentum? We will see once we head on to the drafting phase. But when you're talking about NE, they had a good start in the first week. Come to the midweek, they struggled. And now at the last week, looks like they are kind of going back to their performance and improvements coming from our first week of the PGS group stages. I mean, it's a very old, I would say it was a very long time ago, yes. But for NE, I believe that same mentality with BRE. They have been improving all throughout the split.
Yeah, and I think the way you describe Naga Esports' performance throughout the split has sort of been a roller coaster, kung saan sometimes they're on this high and then sometimes they just make some silly decisions which leads to losses. But looking at it now, especially from their top lane, Iconic, I want to go ahead and talk about the players, but given his performances throughout the weeks, generally would see him on tanks, but now we've got to see him on Kled, a more carry-oriented champion. I think patch 8.4 is being very generous to Naga Esports top laner. Let's see, can he imitate his carry performance in the first game into this second match as we head straight into drafting phase?
We will see if this game 1 performance for NE will push through and carry over to game 2. This is the drafting phase for Naga Esports on the blue side versus Team Manila Eagles on the red side. The defending champions, let's see how they will draft their game 2.
Okay, the only interesting thing here that I see is Sejuani was left open, and Naga Esports have that tendency to bank a lot on that champion onto Rebenga, but it looks like they will be locking in the jungle. Jarvan here can be flexed possibly, but that is very out of meta, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jarvan go to the jungle. But looking at yung response na ginawa ng Team Manila Eagles dito, they've picked up the Thalia and the Gragas, trying to impact side lanes possibly with the Thalia and go for disengage with the Gragas.
And when you're talking about it for any side, yes, it's actually one of Naga's signatures picked, in a sense that the Sejuani is the most picked jungler for NE, but it will be the Jarvan.
Speaking of signature picks, Vulcan, will we be? Oh, I think we will be able to see Marky's bait for this game. So TME, we know that Marky can play this champion. Let's all agree on that, and we know that Marky is very, very proficient on this. Let's see, can TME play around that, because Vayne needs a lot of resources if she wants to succeed in games. Kailangan mo talagang paabutin yung champ na yan into that late game part where she gets her Infinity Edge, Static Shift, these really big core items to let her absolutely wreak havoc in these team fights. Now, we're gonna head into the second banning phase. Looking na both teams have not picked up supports, it looks like both teams are gonna be banning out so many supports here. Already 3 support bans in the second pool.
Oh, but for TME, they will be hovering on this Tom Kench. So I guess for TME, they read that there is a Varus. We did see Tom Kench and Varus paired up in our first match with Mineski and BRE. So the TME will be taking that safety away from NE.
Wait, is this Brand? Oh, we've seen me play cheese supports today. Okay, so it looks like I'm pretty sure Cartridge is gonna play the Ari. I think Brand is the more oriented champion to head into the support role here. Neep did play support Sion in game 1. Now, more cheese coming from Naga Esports. We're going to see a Varus Brand bot lane, and I think there's a lot of kill pressure in this lane, Vulcan, because Brand deals a lot of damage as a support, very damage oriented, and you pair that with Luxuria, and especially once you hit level 6, sobrang dali ng setup. Chain of Corruption into an ability from the Brand, into the stun from his Q. That's a very easy kill for Naga Esports to set up. So let's see, can they do that versus what TME have drafted here?
And when you're talking about kill pressure, Chisto, yes, it's there. The Brand running that Ignite. This is going to be an exciting bot lane. Who knows? Maybe this Brand is also running the Glacial Augment. There's a lot of, possibilities to happen. There's a lot of possibilities that will happen in this match 2, game 2. Let's see. Will the defending champions take away 1 point? If ever any does take away this last game, last victory for themselves, 2-0, things will look very good for NE. Moving on to the playoff stage.
Yeah, dito na magkikick in yung championship mentality at yung experience ng Team Manila Eagles. I mean, they are behind, but they are not out. Hindi sila stranger into these reverse sweep situations, Vulcan. And looking at how they've picked, I really like the change here na JLC is playing a top laner who can really bully his matchup. In that last game, it was very oriented to whoever got the lead early. Now, I really have to give the advantage in the laning phase to a Fiora versus a Maokai.
I mean, if this Fiora is running the Klepto, JLC may start with the Relic Shield that we did see his previous games. Always starts with the Relic Shield to get that Bandit, Gold, Income, and who knows, that will stack up the Kleptomancy. Nice. But for the mid lane, that's what I want to look out for. Trevor, can he be the one to pressure the silence? He should be the one to really dictate and try and help Coops offer extra pressure on the bot or top lane.
Yeah, there's a lot of banking onto Trevor here because looking at the side lanes, look at top lane, look at bot lane. Very, very strong carry champions from TME. And if you're a Talia, meron akong Weaver's Wall, an ability used to impact side lanes and really help my teammates move forward because I have so much roaming potential, so much utility to use for my side laners to get ahead. And gaya nga na sinabi mo, it's up to Trevor here to try and get Marky to that late game. Get JLC to that spot where Naga has to send more than one member to deal with the split pushing Fiora. So very clear win conditions for TME.
Completely agree with you there, Chisto. And I need to really see, is Trevor entering this game with a mentality that, yes, I need to be the one to pressure the silence. We will see this for TME. The draft itself looks pretty promising. I mean, compared to game 1, for NE, they're pretty solid themselves. We'll see everything unfold once we load up to the Rift. This is going to be match 2. Here we are, guys, loaded on the Rift. This is match 2, game 2 of Naga Esports versus Team Manila Eagles. How will it turn out? We'll see. Match point right now of best of 3 series.
Yeah, I mean, makikita natin dito, Vulcan, kaya bang ma-2-0 ni Rebenga yung kanyang ex-teammates? I mean, nandyan din yun, and during the last game, I really have to highlight how Rebenga seemed to have read the members of TME like a book. Tingnan natin, kaya ba niyang ulitin yun in this game?
I want to watch out for those invades here. Look at that. Aggression coming in. And yes, GLC did get a sack of gold. That makes you really happy. That makes you jitter.
Yeah, and this is a very, very similar strat that JLC ran in previous weeks. The Kleptomancy paired with the GPM support item, the Relic Shield, and it just allows him to get to his items faster because what do you need to build items? You need gold. And that's what Kleptomancy gives you. So I think JLC will be a bit behind during the early phases. Of course, hindi ka makakapag-bully ng opposing laner mo with a Relic Shield compared to something like a Doran's Blade. Pero given that this is the matchup, it's a Fiora into a Maokai. Fiora already wins this just by the pick, so I think he can afford to fall behind a bit early and then just bank on that late game because realistically, Vulcan, how can you deal with a Fiora 1v1 on a Maokai?
You don't need to actually kill this Maokai. For JLC, it's a matter of stacking up that Klepto. We saw in the first stack was the sack. He is already having a good start.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's also not up to Iconic to kill the Fiora in this matchup. Diba, ang kailangan lang niya gawin dito is to survive. He's gonna be tankier, he's gonna be way more effective in team fights. Whereas JLC's Fiora, it's backing a lot more on that split push threat that TME needs. Now, we're looking at the mid lane matchup over here. Since Karkrid is running that Ignite, he has a lot more kill pressure onto the Talia. Whereas Talia's job here is really try and shove the wave and, like you mentioned in Champ Select, roam towards the side lanes.
And right now in the bot lane, looks like TME needs that help. But right now...
Teka.
Wait, what's this? Invade fails. That would be a red buff secured by Coops. And judging by from what happened in the bot lane, they need to wait out for that level 6 Talia's Weaver's Wall. Let's hope that Trevor has eyes on the bot lane.
I'm pretty sure that tinitignan ng mid laner ng TME ang bot lane kasi kailangan nila lumamang si Marky dito. Well, not at least lumamang, just survive the lane. But going back, looking at how that lane was going, it is a Varus brand bot lane. Sobrang lakas nung poke dyan. And Marky does have safety in the Tom Kench, pero it isn't the same situation as where you pair him with something that can heal him and really sustain through all the poke. As mid lane,
oh, Trevor trying to dodge those skill shots. The charm won't connect, but Trevor in the end soaked up so much damage.
yeah, the charm did miss, pero the Orb of Deception did land, and that's a lot of true damage, especially this early into the game. Trevor does have healing pots to sustain himself in the lane. I think ngayon he's just gonna try and clear. Kailangan niya mag-ingat though, because if the charm does land and he doesn't cleanse out instantly, there's definitely kill pressure from the Ahri.
And so far, yes, the Ahri does have that kill pressure. I mean, mobility itself is there. He's running the calculated, does have the ignite. We're seeing in any site 2 ignites, especially this Grand really pushing in this bot lane.
You know, Vulcan, you mentioned mobility in the mid lane, and to be fair, I'd say both of these champions are fairly mobile, but in very different ways. Ari more of the mobile duelist, where once you get your Spirit Rush, you get to dash around generally and just be incredibly mobile. As for Talia, with their passive, with their Weaver's Wall, I call that pseudo mobility, where you can roam around the map as mid lane.
Oh, he still catches that knockoff, flashing away. Cleanse too. So many summoners all burned, but still will give the first blood to Calculated.
Very unlucky for Trevor, regardless of him burning both his summoners, he still goes down for first blood, and that's a great gank as well by Rebenga. In the previous game, he was the one that was able to impact the early game by getting his team ahead. It looks like for this game, naunahan na naman yung si Cops. Nahuhuli si Cops dito. He needs to respond to the pressure that Rebenga is exerting onto TME. He can't let himself be outclassed like this if he wants to give his team a chance of winning, because right now, it's like Naga are just dictating what they want TME to do.
And if this keeps up, TME will be in a very bad spot. And NE, they will enjoy this week because this is the last week of the group stages. You need to make every match count. Treat this as your last, because moving at the playoffs is something that all teams want. And seeding also is very important.
Yeah, and you mentioned the playoffs, Vulcan. I think it's safe to say now that for TME, they're definitely gonna head onto the playoff stage. They are the defending champions of the Pro Gaming Series. But let's hold that thought.
Last Cone comes in. Looks like Cope's trying to force a gank here. Where's the body slam? Two-man body slam coupled by the flash. Teleport coming in. This is going to be a party in the bot lane. That's going to be marking zoned out. Rebenga takes down Rocks. Two members of TME really low, being zoned out by Rebenga, leaving behind JLC. He parries it. He gets the double. This could be a potential triple leap. Low on health. There's the launch. We're in the final spots and a triple kill.
Yeah, in the end, everybody heads down onto the bot lane, pero JLC picks up so many kills on this floor. Mukhang ginalit ng Naga Esports si JLC dito kasi, man, JLC is absolutely popped off in that fight, picking up kill after kill. TME, they pick a fight and they end the fight on top.
The double teleport was a signal that both teams we will go all in. This kind of reminds me of the game 1 that happened in for match 2. TME and NE. I mean, do you see that mid lane 4-man gank? That is something that caught me by surprise, and we're seeing that similarity in the bot lane, all in.
Yeah, and mukhang gaya na sinabi ko, ginagalit na ng Naga Esports dito si JLC kasi he got so many kills from the fight. Let's go ahead and look at the replay of this. Ang ganda nung initial engage ni Cops dito where he landed the body slam on 2 members. Unfortunately, walang instant follow-up. Hindi dumating kagad yung damage after nung CC, but JLC was able to get onto the backline, and with Iconic not having enough mana to peel for his carries, that's primarily the reason why JLC is able to clean this up, because there's really no one to stop him here. Regardless of him going down, that's still a lot of gold onto the Fiora, and he's definitely very happy to pick up all of these items.
Triple kill, and you're talking about a Fiora with a Kleptomancy. Whew. Rush that Revenant's Hydra, you will have a good time. And from that bot lane clash, this gives him a lot of options. And potentially, if he is running the magical footwear, uptime on that boots is something that is very gold efficient.
Yeah, and speaking of gold efficient items, tignan mo yung pickup ni Iconic dito. He bought the Bramble Vest to deal with the Fiora by applying the Grievous Wounds. And given that Fiora has a lot of healing in her kit, I think it's a smart buy by Iconic to deny a bit of that healing, at least by having that Grievous Wounds applied onto JLC. Now, he's going for an all-in. Rebenga is way far out though. I don't think they're gonna catch up.
He does have the riposte. He can parry that away. So
they were way out.
They were way too aggressive.
I think nakita na ni JLC, and just like that, this is the proper punish. TME are making the right calls in this game. You see 3-men top, why not take a free Infernal Drake?
Freeze indeed. TME will be taking away the first Infernal Drake of the game.
Teka, Volcan, deja vu. Ito yung first blood eh.
Okay, Doc, no summoners off, no flash, no escape. The lockdown will give Calculated an easy kill.
Yeah, and I like that they punished Trevor's flash being down just before it got off cooldown. Sumasara yung window na kayang i-pull off ni Rebenga yung gank na yun, because if Trevor had flash, I think he could have possibly escaped that. But just before, I think it was around 20 seconds from being up, he gets punished for it. But a bit of the blame has to go to you as well because 20 seconds till your flash, but why not play a bit back? Really try and respect Rebenga.
And from that clash, and the gank in the mid lane gives Calculated a good boost in gold. We're seeing the Lost Chapter and an Amplifying Tome. This could be a Luden's Echo in the making.
Yeah, I mean, Vulcan, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Luden's Echo come out of Ari. Of course, with the new patch 8.4, majority of the laners now would build into the Lost Chapter first, and then from that they have options. And I think the best option that builds out of Lost Chapter for the Ari is that Luden's Echo. Gives her extra wave clear with the passive and gives her extra boost in damage. But what I really want to see here is a Spellbinder. I really want to see that item because I think it's a very effective item if you want to snowball your lead. And given that Calculated has majority of the kills of Naga Esports, he is a Ari that is ahead. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up that item, but looking at what's in his inventory, it's actually a Hextech Revolver.
And a Blasting Wand to pair with it. So he does have a lot of money. And if he could have finished maybe the Luden's Echo, but he would be going for more options. I mean, getting the revolver, the blasting wall, more damage. Why not go for it?
Yeah, it does give you more burst in an all-in matchup, especially 1v1. Kapag ka naibato mo yung auto-attack mo while you're in the middle of that trade as Ari, that's a bit of that surprise damage that you can really put out. It can catch people off guard. And speaking of catching people off guard,
exhausted. The last stack uses all the Spirit Rush to get away from the 3 members of TME. Gets spotted by the cone. They take away some vision from TME. The kill score right now is 4-3.
teka lang,
Oh, launch it over. Oh, he does have flash this time.
Char.
Oh,
Okay.
sakto yung flash. Away from the Cataclysm and to deny the damage.
Yeah, but even if he did flash, it is a flash burn. Wala nang choice si Trevor din. Nakadikit na si Rebenga. And if he didn't flash that, he would have went down there and that would have been disastrous for TME because that would have made the Talia irrelevant. But speaking of being relevant in this game, di ba, looking at pick and ban, pinag-usapan natin yung role ni Trevor dito. He has to impact the side lanes. We haven't seen him roam on this Talia to really be a factor in this game. Pero I think you have to put the blame, I should say, for that onto Rebenga because he did put Calculated in the position to be the one dictating the way this lane went just because he ganked very early and gave the Ari first blood. Now, given that the Talia is behind, she doesn't have that many windows kung saan kaya niya mag-roam and tulungan yung laners ng TME. And it's showing right now. Talia hasn't been able to impact the bot lane. And Naga have just been able to bully the Vayne and Tomken constantly. And they will be rewarded with the first tower of the game.
That is a sweet gold boost that you want for your team. And so now, Annie is the one to really force to control how the game will turn. 3 members of Naga Esports moving in. Calculated, focusing on to Trevor. Ignited off. Will he get taken down? No, he will not commit. Under that turret, he did see Coops in the mid lane. Now we're seeing 4 members immediately rotating towards the mid lane. They potentially can go to the top lane if they wish to, but that's gonna spell trouble for JLC.
Yeah, and ito yung situation na ayaw ng TME Vulcan kasi Naga, I think, as a team, they really shine if they get a lead, if they get ahead in the laning phase. They can really, as their playstyle relies on them winning lane and then transitioning that into clean rotations, making right decisions, and they're just taking towers constantly. And look here, they've already taken the bot lane tower. They sent 4 members mid lane. They were able to brute force that down. And now, I see Luxury roaming up to the top lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see the top lane outer from TME survive for very long.
If it does, it's going to buy time for them. And as we all know, with the Vayne pickup, you gotta wait for the items, wait for the spikes. There will be a time where Marky will really boost the clash potential of TME, and the team fight damage is there. And for JLC, I think it's time for JLC to try and help ease the burden of Marky.
I mean, JLC can split push here, but given that Iconic wasn't brutally punished in lane, even though this matchup is generally losing 1-1v1, I think given the items that Iconic already has here, he already has the Bramble Vest, he already has the Warden's Mail, he can easily survive versus a Fiora 1v1. There's not gonna be a situation where JLC can just instantly burst down Iconic. So yeah, I think given that this is the way the game has went, I think TME are in a very rough spot at the moment.
Let's see. This is a tough spot. Can TME try and face back? But no. Look at Calculated on this Ari already on Rampage top lane. Okay, they did manage to take down Luxuria.
Okay, I think that's probably best case scenario for TME because if you're behind in gold, any trade you can get is definitely good for your team. Now, I don't think Naga are gonna let TME get away just with that trade. They're gonna try and take down this tower.
They can. They have the Jarvan's flag. Oh, what's this?
Yep.
Stun connects. Knocks to the air. So many CC piled up onto rocks. He gets chunked by Rebenga. Look at the burst coming from the Cataclysm. Couple that up with the Orb of Deception. The members of NE stacked up.
Yeah, and gaya nga lang sinabi ko, this is not the situation that you want to be in versus Naga Esports. They've gotten out of lane. Now you're gonna feel the wrath of their rotations across the map. They're making all the proper decisions here. And I think it all stems just from the way Rebenga played the early game. He really set his team up for success. And regardless of JLC getting those 3 kills in the bot lane, Iconic has been able to hold them down. Kahit namang yung Fiora, the split push has been a non-factor. And
Look
there's a
at
flash.
the aggressive flash in. Calculated again with his Ari.
Yeah, at this point, it's very scary for TME. Naga Esports just snowballing so hard at the moment.
So aggressive. The brand stun also connects.
Calculated's already 5-0 and
You gotta
1.
kudos that to. You're gonna give credits to Rebenga. Setting up laners for success. Rebenga set up Calculated to really snowball on the Zari, completing that Luden's Echo already.
Sobrang similar nito into game 1, diba? We saw Rebenga choose to snowball Iconic. He ended up with 5 kills and really impacted that game a lot. Now, this game, Rebenga chose to snowball the Ahri. We're seeing the Ahri with 5 kills. And now,
Touched by Rebenga.
touch bear. Is that the best feeling, Vulcan? If Rebenga is your jungler, at least siya ginagank niya ako. Pero, yun nga, gaya na sinabi ko, sobrang snowball na nung Naga Esports dito. TME are in such a rough spot. They really need to try and hold on there. They do have tools to try and clear, but it's very, very difficult.
They need to, despite it being difficult, they need to step it up because as we saw TME struggle in the spring split group stages, the defending champions not having a great start, and at this point, they are at a point where they could end in a really bad finish because if they don't try and fight back, Naga will get a 2-0 and this will kind of put down TME in the seedings, moving on to the playoff stage.
Yeah, and speaking of the impact of the series, if Naga does 2-0 the defending champions here, marami magtatanong, ano kaya nangyari sa TME? They are the defending champions and they get beat by a new team. But looking at the mindset for Naga, sobrang laking confidence booster nito para sa kanila. Kung makuha nila yung 2-0, laban sa team nila Eagles dito. Now, Naga are gonna pick up the Rift Herald and this will only help them snowball this game even harder as they can use that to take down even more towers.
And when you take down turrets, you make the map open. You give more pressure, and seeing it right now, the Rift Herald is in the hands of NA. They may go for this one. We're seeing Marky, ooh, gets locked out, flashes away, condemned to really use that ultimate against Rebenga.
Yeah, best case scenario for Marky right there.
Wait for that Bane.
Great use of mechanics as well. Just to condemn the Jarvan into his own wall. Sobrang feels bad nun kung Jarvan player ka. Yung stinan ka sa sarili mong poder. But it was like TME here, they need to hold on. They need to try and defend this. Kaso wala yung main wave clear nila. Trevor is forced to deal with Calculated in the mid lane. Ang wave clear lang ito si Gragas and he doesn't deal that much damage as... No, I think with the teleport, they need to back off.
They need to back up. It's too risky. And Calculated is in a position to roam to the top lane. It's a very short walk. We do see a Cloud Drake in the hands of NE. They can quickly rotate. Not to mention we're seeing the members of NE, especially Neek, is on the top side. Okay, Rocks, big trouble there. Grand Challenge is on to Calculated. It's already burned. And another Summoner's, rather an ultimate. And Summoner's burnt by both teams.
Yeah, feeling ko talaga gustong pumasok ni JLC din. Kaso kulang yung mga kampi niya dun. And there weren't enough members from TME in the area to follow up if he did go and dive. So now they're in such a precarious spot. They will go, GLC will go down bot lane again, try and push that wave out, possibly take their first tower of the game. Pero he doesn't have teleport to defend this. Marky will just have to watch his tower go down.
Hindi na kaya yung TME mag-test kaya because the amount of lead they have at this point. I mean, look at the kill score, 74, gold lead. Not that definitive just yet, but it is halfway there. 5k gold lead. The Baron will be live in 23 seconds, and he already sets up for that Baron. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, JLC pushing the turret. He needs to secure the pressure, but as of now, we're seeing, oh, Iconic can
Teka.
stop him. He can't. This will be the first turret for TME in their hands.
I actually think Iconic can 1v1 him here if he chooses to. Oh. Okay, mukhang hindi muna sila mag-1v1. Pero gaya nga na sinabi mo, Baron is already live. JLC though, he can't stick around in the bot lane for so long because if TME wants to get a chance to try and possibly get back in this game, they need to make use of this Fiora. Siya yung member nila na ahead. Siya yung merong gold. Siya yung merong items on their lineup. So, given that he doesn't have teleport, he doesn't want to be stuck bot lane if a play does happen on the Baron side.
If the Baron does happen, that Baron play, and he has complete control of that side. I mean, the mid lane's gone, the top lane's gone, and TME only secured the outer bot lane turret. And the Rift Tyrell will spawn. This is more pressure in the mid lane.
Okay, it looks like Baron will not be the objective yet. Kaya pa nilang maging patient dito. Now, the question is, TME, they can choose to hold here, and I think this is smart. This is going to delay Naga Esports a bit, but TME have to go for a bigger engage if they want to fully stop this push.
Reverse wall is gone. There's the wave clear coming from Trevor. We're seeing Coops trying to look for the right time to go in for the gang. The control ward is there, so they know that they have the element of surprise. And quickly, Annie, they're securing their own vision. They are lurking around the red side of the map, trying to get the jump on TME. One small misstep. This is trouble. Baron's at stake here. TME cannot go into the red side jungle without any proper vision.
Yeah, they do not have the proper vision set up at the moment. And
And there we
given that you have to face check into an Ari and Maokai and a Varus, I've seen Baron steals before. It is not that impossible in
Can
this
they go
game.
for it? Team of the Eagles go for the Baron steal. Here it comes. Smite Rage. And now NA will secure the Baron and take down Coops with it. And that's going to be a pickoff. GLC low in health and with Calculator snowballing like a beast. He is just taking down the members of TME one by one.
Yeah, and with those picks happening onto the top and jungle duo of TME, with the Baron buff, with the minions still pushing Naga Esports, they want to take down inhibitors here, Vulcan.
They're trying to rush this down. If they have a great lead, why not establish that, solidify it? And I think they will just back off with the inhibitor. Great call by Annie for that Baron call, but for TME, they tried to go for a contest. They tried to steal that Baron. They knew the risk. They still took it, but in the end, it was all in vain.
It was a risk that they had to take. Wala silang choice dun because if they give that up for free, they would be in the same spot here. But if they had gotten that, that would have been their window to come back. They really didn't have that much of a choice because Naga didn't give them one. Well, going back to this is still practically a 50-50 because both junglers are still there. But I think, in a sense, Coops went in a bit too early. The Baron was still at 2k health. The focus from Naga, though, they were able to both target the Gragas and then secure the Baron. And the moment that the Baron goes over to Naga, TME are just full retreat. They cannot take a fight anymore because they don't have enough resources. They don't have enough items yet. Look, it's already 23 minutes into the game. Regardless of Marky having a fairly passive game, he's still only sitting on an infinity edge compared to a Ginsus and Wits End coming from the Varus. So just the difference in items means TME needs to be extremely careful in picking the fights, especially at this stage where one misplayed fight from them could mean the end of the game.
If Marky picks up more items, let's say the rapid fire cannon, that would help.
Okay, that's a lot of damage.
Effortlessly calculated takes away Trevor's life, and it was more of a pickoff. And now we're seeing the members of NE with the Baron buff in the bot lane.
That was a lot of damage coming from Carteret. He didn't even need the true damage part of Orb of Deception to take down Trevor, and I think just because of the way Rebeng has been playing, Trevor has really been struggling throughout this match. He's already 0-5-0 on this Talia, and given the fact that the only source of wave clear, the only effective way to wave clear from TME is from the Talia, they can't afford to have Trevor getting picked off like that, because look at this, Naga's just gonna push and they're confident because there's no way TME can engage or wait or clear the wave.
Because of the Baron Parrot minions, that would be very difficult for Trevor to try and clear that wave pressure, and he catches the orb, and close call. Very close call for Trevor. JLC goes for the challenge. Will challenge calculated. One more hit from the final spot. One more hit there, and he gets the heal. He survives, but in the end was a trade-off.
Yeah, and that's really not the trade that you want. JLC is the most fed member from TME, and without the pressure from the Fiora, I don't think they can defend this inhibitor. Nagas is gonna take this down.
Oh, explosive cast pushes back NE to their zone, but Luxuria is free to hit. There is that. Oh my god, did you see that damage on that ground?
Yeah, and
It's enough for them to zone them out.
oh man, dude. TME, they're trying to hold on. They're trying their best to hold on, but they've fallen so far behind. It's such a huge hole to try and climb out from. It's definitely doable. Miracles do happen, but at this point, who do you pray to if you want to hold on? Because they're just so far behind. It's really difficult for them.
It's difficult because what happened there was the success that Rebenga established for Calculated. It's showing so much work, but TME, they can still bank on JLC and Marky, but it's very difficult when you're looking at an Ari with a Void Staff, Hextech, Gunblade, and the Luden's Echo.
That's a lot of burst damage, and especially calculated. I think a basic Spirit Rush with W combo into Hextech Gun would practically kill anyone from TME at this stage. So they need to be very careful approaching their jungle area, especially. They need to stick together. Hindi sila pwedeng mapitas dito. They can't afford to get picked off, because if you give Naga a numbers advantage here, the game would be over for TME. But looking at how the game has been panning out, they're trying to hold on. They've definitely not given up yet.
Let's hope that hope they're holding on to is still viable in terms of coming back to this game, because for NE, we are now aiming for the top lane, the only lane left to stand.
Now, for TME to stop this push.
Here small.
Oh no.
They collapse. Oh, gets stopped by the cast there. There will be no damage dealt with that Maokai. It's only the members of Team Manila Eagles, but still, NE are stuck in a bad spot. Rebecca dives in with a Cataclysm, buys some time with the stasis. And for JLC on the Grand Challenge, gets the cleanup. This could be a turnaround. That's gonna be a cleanup. One more hit, and yes! That's the Quadra!
Yeah, quadra kill for JLC. Like I said, Team Manila Eagles, they haven't given up yet. Regardless of their base being in ruins, they hold on. They defend successfully. They push back Naga Esports. And man, JLC, like you mentioned, he was the Fed member. That's what Fed members do. They pick up quadra kills.
And that's gonna secure them the ace. A chance for them to defend the base. The inhibitor has respawned for Team ME, but the bot lane will be soon to respond too. But right now, the most fed member, yes, JLC. He can buy some time for Marky, the next member that should be fed. He is picking up the rapid fire cannon, building into it.
Yeah, and gaya nga na sinabi ko, the only way that TME can stop the push from Naga is if they go for a fight. They need to start an engage. And regardless of Cooks missing the initial part of it, look at JLC here. He gets into the backline. Iconic was so low that there were no tags. Rebecca was diving onto Marky. There was nobody to peel for the backline of Naga Esports. And without the Maokai to lock down this Fiora, piliin niya, sino gusto ko dyan? Q, whoop, just dead. Picks your target. No
Picks the
tags.
target, gets the Quadra, a huge amount of gold. Starex, Hydra, and the Trinity Force plus the BF Sword completed for JLC. And for Marky, he's not doing too bad himself, 217 on the KDA. Looking at the gold.
Yeah, it's practically even for the carries in this game. I think the major difference, it's just calculated being way ahead to his matchup, but looking at JLC and Marquis Gold, they're in a pretty good spot given their matchup. And now looking at the situation Naga is in, oh no,
Oh god, Cups checks too much. Oh, he will not get out of there alive.
yeah, that's a jungler down Vulcan, and with no smite from Team Manila Eagles, I think they will be forced to give up this Baron. There's no way they can challenge this in a safe way. This is going over to Naga.
And this will be the second Baron of the game. Oh boy, the Cups just got easy
Ooh,
locked and
that's-
dove by Revenga's Jarvan.
That's a tough position to be in because normally, if you stick together, imagine if Rox was beside Cups there, regardless of him getting CC lock, there was a top catch for safety. So a bit of miscommunication, I should say, because TME were face checking into that Barret, they were split up. So even after that successful base defense by TME, it looks like Naga were able to go back to their decisive shot calling. Now they're gonna pick up a consolation prize here. Ocean Build at this game. It's already 30 minutes into the game though, Vulcan. So all this really does for Naga Esports is give them more stacks if the game does go extend to that part where Elder Drake is on the table.
If it's on the table, take it away. And with NE, they have that much control around the map. But what I'm looking out for is, can TME make something work here? They know that JLC is on this Fiora, got that Quadra in the top lane. Now has the Guardian Angel. Very close to 6 items. They're waiting on the brush. Face check, and he checks it with a sapling.
And that's smart by Iconic. Now, TME, there are no more inhibitor turrets in the mid and bot lane. Karkunin needs to be a bit careful here because there's a lot of damage from TME at this stage. I think just a few auto attacks from Marky would immediately chunk him to half health. TME, they're holding on here. They haven't given up.
They can try and clear the waves here. They have the Talia, but the Baron powered minions will not be fed that easily.
You know, I'm still wondering who will be the first to pull the trigger. It looks like Naga will just try and set up the waves in a way where both minion waves would crash at the same time. And what that does is it splits up the members of TME.
Splitting them up is a smart choice because what I'm looking
We're gonna see Weaver's Wall here.
Yeah, what I'm looking at right now is, yes, that Weaver Small. Could this be a setup? Iconic and Luxuria.
Luxuria has no flash!
Luxuria has no flash, and Iconic is trying to kite forward and peel for Luxuria. He's done so much damage, trying low on health. He gets shoved back by the Talia. Marque fucks the final hour. That's going to be calculated, taking that cube. And that's going to be the Guardian Angel working for GLC. He tries to survive. He is low. One more hit. He does lunge away. He survives for now.
Oh, Marky and JLC are still alive, but Naga Esports are going to be able to take down the inhibitors here. They have regen back up now. Can TME go for a re-engage? But without the Gragas, I don't think they can go for this, Vulcan.
They will just back off. They won't commit to a very risky situation because 8-3-1 on this Fiora. You already burned the Guardian Angel. That's okay. But now, we are looking at Marky's items. Static Shift and the Rapid Fire Cannon plus the Infinity Edge. That alone is enough for his Vayne to come back to this game and try and clean up the fight.
Yeah, I definitely agree that that is enough for Marky to work with if he wants to clean up here. As long as he doesn't get locked down, as long as hindi mahuli si Marky, he can really deal a lot of damage in these fights. But looking at that engage from TME, that was an excellent use of Weaver's Wall. It cuts off key members of Naga Esports. Look, Luxuria does not have flash here. This would have been disastrous if the members of TME were able to get in sooner. But luckily enough, Maokai is pretty tanky and his ultimate does a lot of that zone control. And I think it was very lucky that Luxuria did not get instantly bursted down here, because if the Varus went down, Naga would have gone on their full retreat. So credits to TME for holding on.
And credits to JLC for trying to go for the high priority targets, the Luxuria and the Ari, but you cannot survive a full-blown burst coming from a brand and an Ari.
Yeah, now Naga, they're on the verge of getting outscaled by Team Manila Eagles here. Whatever lead you had, if you make it to a point where all the members are 6 items, leads become irrelevant. It all goes down to execution. TME, they're slowly reaching that point of even footing with Naga. I mean, look at Trevor. Regardless of him being 0, 5, and 7, he has the items he needs to deal damage in these fights. Nagagamit pa rin niya yung Reaver's Wall in a way where he's incredibly useful as Carcade.
Bloodthirsty.
Oh no, JLC has no
Oh
GA.
my god, he's trying to zone. He kept Calculated busy. Here comes the engage coming from Team Little Eagles. But Rebenga locks Marky down, locks Trevor inside the zone. But Marky is still healthy. He's surviving. Rebenga's revived. For now, maybe. He's kind of low. One more hit, he's gonna go down. But no, he will survive. Coops is trying to stay alive here. Marky scaring away the members of NE. Right now, the super minions are flooding to the base of Team Manila Eagles. They need to try and clear out this wave. We see two members very low on any side. Rebecca and Iconic, the front line, kind of low on health. GLC parries. He gets the stun onto Neve. That's going to be Coops going in for the guy. GLC trying his best to peel, to try and guide all of the damage, but Marky is surviving for now. That's the last Nexus turret down. Iconic still low. Same with Rebenga. We're seeing the ultimate school down. It will be up for Iconic. Marky, he manages to touch the combo. Nexus very low. They're focusing on the Nexus. TME will go for the last push. Luxuria goes in with a flash. Marky still alive. That's going to be Luxuria. Gets popped by Marky. But in the end, that's going to be Rocks trying his best here. But in the end, that's going to be NE out-sustain the fight, out-damaging the Eagles.
Yeah, and in the end, it's only Trevor left to defend. What can Talia do here? He has to hold on. Carcade deals a lot of damage. Oh, I think that's over. Naga Esports, man, they will pick up a clean 2-0 over the current defending champions of the PGS. GG, well played.
GG, well played to both teams, and especially for Naga. Getting that 2-0 will greatly increase their seeding and moving on to the playoff stage. But for TME, still, right now, their seeding will be pushed back, will be pinned down a bit, but going to the game 2, 2-0, secured by NE.
Congratulations, of course, to Naga Esports, but I think I also have to credit Team Manila Eagles for not giving up in this game. They definitely held on for as long as they can, but in the end, I think just the methodical decisions from Naga Esports was the edge. So moving on to the playoff stage, like you mentioned, this will be momentum on the side of Naga. So given that they did pick up a 2-0 over defending champions, they definitely feel confident, Wilton.
And there's the thrill of the hunt code right there. Know that the last clash was very
Chaotic.
Chaotic, yes, chaotic. And there was a triple kill that happened in the end with Calculated on that Ares. So here it is, guys, the code for the triple kill and thrill of the hunt. But now, what does this mean for NE when it comes to moving on to the playoff stage?
Well, I did mention previously, it means that they will be more confident with themselves right now because we just 2-0 the defending champions, and given that they have fairly new players just like Iconic, I think that really will help his confidence, especially facing off against fairly veteran top players. And I think in this match particularly, he really held his own against JLC, probably one of, if not the best top players in the PGS at the moment.
And here are the updated standings moving on to day 2 of our last week of the group stages tomorrow on Saturday. But as of now, this is the day 1 results. See it here. Looks interesting. Naga goes up to the 4th seed.
Yeah, and also with Naga going up to the 4th seed, I also have to mention that with Team Manila Eagles not picking up a single point today, that means TNC Pro Team, unless they go down 0-2 tomorrow in their match, that will be the only scenario where IPT can steal away. No, actually,
A tiebreaker.
No, actually-
4 is actually a tiebreaker, Chisto.
can they force it? No, actually, I think TNC have secured the 2nd spot, Wilton.
Go ahead.
So I think we're gonna be seeing who the MVP for that match was. I think it will be Carcade actually.
There
Of course,
is.
very sick place from the mid lane, very fed on that Ari, but Carl definitely has to credit Rebenga for that. I think Rebenga set him up for success, and it showed. He really made use of all the early gank pressure, and that really led to him going off in that game. Really well played by mid and jungle of Naga.
Well played for both teams here. This will conclude our first day of the last week of the group stages of the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split. We have been the Shoutcasters. My name is Vulcan. With me was Chisto, and in the side is Arctic. Thank you so much for watching our first day last week. Stay tuned for tomorrow, Saturday, for the continuation to see what's gonna happen in the standings. Till then, Summoners, see you there, 3 p.m. Body stuff, two-man body stuff, coupled by the flash, teleport coming in. This is gonna be a party in the bot lane. That's gonna be marking zoned out. Rebenga takes down Rocks. Two members of TME really low, being zoned out by Rebenga, leaving behind JLC. He parries it, he gets the double. This could be a potential triple deep, low on health. There's the launch, with a final spot, and a triple kill.
Yeah, in the end, everybody...
Could this be a setup? Iconic and a chair.
Luxuria has no flash.
Luxuria has no flash. And Iconic is trying to kite forward and peel for Luxuria. He's doing so much damage. Tiny low on how he gets choked back when he clear. Market blocks the final hour. That's going to be calculated, taking that scoop. And that's going to be the Guardian Angel working for GLC. He tries to survive. He is low. One more hit. He does lunge away. He survives. Calculated busy. Here comes the engage coming from Team Little Eagles. But Rebenga locks Marky down. Locks Trevor inside the zone. But Marky is still healthy. He's surviving. Rebenga survived. For now, maybe. He's kind of low. One more hit. He's going to go down. But no, he will survive. Cubs is trying to stay alive here. Marky scaring away the members of NE. Right now, the super minions are flooding to the base of Team Manila Eagles. They aim to try and clear out this wave. We see two members very low on any side. Rebecca and Iconic, the front line, kind of low on health. GLC parries. He gets the stun onto Neem. That's going to be Coops going in for the guy. GLC trying his best to peel, to try and guide with all of that damage, but Marky is surviving for now. That's the last Nexus turret down. Iconic still low. Same with Renga. You see the ultimate roll down. It will be up for Iconic. Marky, he manages to touch the combo. Nexus very low. They're focusing on the Nexus. TME will go for the last push. Luxuria goes in with a flash. Marky still alive. That's going to be Luxuria. Gets pumped by Marky. But in the end, that's going to be Rocks trying his best here. But in the end, that's going to be NE out-sustain the fight, out-damaging the Eagles.
Yeah, and in the end, it's only Trevor left to defend. What can Talia do here? He has to hold on. Karkin deals a lot of damage. Oh, I think that's over. Naga Esports, man, they will pick up a clean 2-0 over the current defending champions of the PGS. GG, well played.